Hi, and welcome to On the Ride. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Scott.
And this is our 5th episode. Thank you guys who've watched this along the way. If it's your first time, thank you for being here. On this episode, we have Scott's recap, which is called
Comments from the Unqualified.
Because what you hear, you're going to know he's really unqualified. And then we have a special guest, the Bros Ride Bikes. So let's get into it real quick so we can get to the bros. Here's Scott.
All right, here we go. So we're going to go over the Giro d'Italia, which is all concluded now. But if you missed it, shame on you, because we told you in our last podcast how great it was going to be, and it didn't disappoint.
It was amazing. And it's the most beautiful tour, for sure.
It really is. But enough with that. Let's get right on into it. This was the 108th edition, roughly 2,100 miles, 21 stages, 23 teams participated. Of those 23 teams, only 11 teams got wins, and one team got 6 wins.
They killed it.
Yeah, they absolutely killed it. And that team, Lytle Trek with Mads Pedersen. And I talked a little bit about Mads Pedersen in previous episodes about how this guy was so good and he couldn't buy a win. But this guy, that first week of the Giro, he owned it. That was all him.
And he set up the jersey, the purple jersey, like
absolutely. He held the pink jersey till stage 7, and he held the purple points leaders jersey for sprinters the entire race. Never came off his back.
Only one other time has it happened.
I'm telling you, it's totally impressive. And this guy is currently at the end of his contract.
He's going to get a big one.
He's going to go for big bucks.
But he's older. We'll see.
Yeah, he's carried that team. He's been on fire since the beginning of the season.
For sure. Let's go.
All right, next up. So let's talk about the main GC contenders for the Giro d'Italia. By far and away, it was going to be Primož Roglič from Red Bull Bora and Juan Ayuso from UAE Emirates. In the end, second week, they both failed to deliver.
They were gone.
Gone.
One of them crashed multiple times, so he went home.
He was on the ropes and abandoned, just so far behind on time. There was no point. And the other one, ultimately, I think it was a combination of a knee injury, stitches, and a bee sting. That was the end of it.
Ayuso?
I
think as a broken ego.
Very well could be. So that opened the door in the third week for some players that weren't necessarily being looked at very hard in the first week. And that opened the door for Isaac Del Toro from Team UAE Emirates and Richard Carapaz from EF Easy Post.
Oh, and the most exciting part for us SoCal boys is it's a local Mexican boy from Ensenada, like literally an hour or two down the road.
Yeah. So these guys went at it starting about mid of the second week, and ultimately I feel like Spanish pride was the downfall for both of these characters, because late in the third week, I mean, at the 11th hour of the race on the Queen stage, as they're staring at each other, they let Simon Yates get away. Simon Yates started that day 1 minute, 21 seconds down, and he made not just that time up, but when he latched onto Wout van Aert at the crest of the hill on the Queen stage, it was all over.
I think it was a little more than that. I look at a bunch of tactical errors in that day. As soon as the break got over 10 minutes of the road, it was already done. I couldn't believe that they let a break go up 10 minutes of the road on that day, especially with Wout in it.
But they did it the 2 previous days as well.
But not on a stage like this, and not with Wout in it.
Fair.
So that's the number one thing. Number 2. Richard Carapaz didn't care if he got second or third. So
he's been there before.
So he only wants to go for the win. So why is he going to work with Del Toro?
He shouldn't have. It wasn't his responsibility. He wasn't wearing pink.
And once he got it to the point where he knew he wasn't going to get pink anymore, he's not going to do it. He's done.
Yeah.
And the minute Yates hooked up with Wout, it was over. He did 500 plus watts for over 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
And put 2 more minutes into him, and it was over.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, he had 4+ minutes, or nearly 4+ minutes on both Carapaz and Del Toro.
It was a great day for Yates. It was one of the most exciting races, of course. The Giro always exciting.
Well, we called it in the podcast previous to this one. We predicted that Roglič would crash. We didn't think he would crash out, but we did predict that he would crash. Yeah,
that was an easy one. I would love to see the odds in Britain for that. It would have been good. You would not have made money on that if you bet on that one. That's for sure.
So now I want to talk about some of the key players real quickly in this race and kind of get your take and what you think about them, maybe in this race or in some races coming up. And I'll kind of prime the pump a little bit. We've talked already about Mads Pedersen, and right now he's on a high, and I can't speak highly enough about him. But let's talk a little bit about Isaac Del Toro. Young, strong. What happened here in this race? I
think it was. I'm going to put 80% of it or plus on the team.
Bad DS decisions?
Bad decisions.
Yeah.
He should have known what was going on. They made multiple decisions that were wrong that day. As soon as Carapaz got rid of everybody, he should have been on high alert. But it didn't happen. So, and how many times has he had to lead a Grand Tour before? So
big learning curve for him this Giro.
And he's exciting. He speaks well. He speaks great English. He's good-looking guy. He's got everything. He's got
the package.
He's got the star quality written all over him.
The star package is all there. It's just got to come together.
But the problem is, how does he fit in that team?
Oh, good question. We're going to get there. Okay. Hold on. All right. So next guy I want to get into a little bit, Richard Carapaz. Where does he stack up in this Giro, and where does he go from here? So he's experienced, yeah, but
I think he did exactly what I thought he would do. I thought he'd be in the mix because he always is if he's healthy, which he was. And on the last stage, I don't think he was strong enough to win it by himself. So if he thought he could win it, he would have gone.
So basically, Carapaz could be a much bigger threat if you think he had more depth and team to help him out.
Did you see any AF guys there after the first half of the race?
Hence the question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his style is not. He likes to be this typical Spanish swashbuckling guy. You saw he's out there,
out of the saddle,
blazing,
attacking.
That's what he does, and it's exciting. That's what you want to see. It's much better than the Chris Froome look at my power meter the whole time.
Sure. Yeah. Looking down at the stem. That's where the information's at. Next guy I want to get into, Wout van Aert. Now, if you guys are fans of the podcast, you know I haven't said much kind about Wout van Aert in the previous podcast by far, but I'm calling him out as MVP for this tour. He sealed the deal. Without a doubt, I do think that Yates probably had him when he crested the hill. I don't think that Del Toro and Carapaz would have been able to come back, but Wout sealed the deal, basically driving the truck with Yates on his wheel and just putting time into these guys that neither one of them was going to. He buried them.
Well, it wasn't a truck; it was a high-performance car in front. So we'll go into that one. And he got his win for the year that he just got, and it is a big win. On a stage that he really wanted to win. So it was very exciting. And Del Toro got second. Then we realized Del Toro was a player, and I think it was amazing. I mean, he gave PR numbers on that. That tells you what a great teammate he is.
Sure, without a doubt. Okay, so now I want to look forward just a little bit. I want to look forward towards the tour. You've got Simon Yates on Visma Lease bike. You've got Sepp Kuss, same team. You've got Matteo Jorgensen, same team. You got Jonas Vingegaard, same team. Tour's right around the corner, about a month or so away. Mm-hmm. This team is stacked. How many of those three guys of the three guys I just mentioned, plus Jonas, he's going. You put all these guys on the team and you just attack.
Nope.
No?
Maybe one guy could. What's the guy's name?
On what team?
You know what I'm talking about?
Pogacar.
Close enough.
You don't think they're going to just stack the team and attack them?
I don't think so, because I don't think any of those, maybe one of those guys other than Jonas is strong enough to stay with them.
Okay.
So I don't think it's a threat. I mean, it's a thing to say in the beginning of the tour, we have multiple leaders and we're going to, but it never works that way.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes down to when it's time to put the rubber to the ground, you're going to see a very big line.
We're going to find out, because by the time this episode airs, we'll probably be into the Criterium Dauphiné, and you're going to be seeing the three bigs come into play and a late addition. So you're going to have Remco Evenepoel at the Criterium Dauphiné. You're going to have Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogacar. And Matthew Vanderpool, late edition, just signed up.
Did he?
Yep, they cleared him to race. He said, "I've been riding good, and the wrist is healed enough from his mountain bike crash."
2 mountain bike crashes.
Yeah, two.
I never put that much into the.
You don't give it that much?
Because they always seem to take a little off.
Okay.
I think they do.
You don't think any of those guys are going to show their hand too early?
No.
Okay. Going to keep it in their pants.
They're going to go like 90%.
90%. 90% is still pretty good for any one of those guys. I'd take it.
Not for them it is,
Yeah.
but.
Well, that pretty much concludes comments from the unqualified, my race recap from the Giro. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you don't, let me know. If you do, let me know. We're going to be right back with the Bros Ride Bikes, and we'll get into it with those guys, and we'll go from there. Thanks.
Hey, welcome back. Now, as you see, we have the Bros Ride Bikes. We have Jack and Eli. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We're pretty excited to have you guys here. It's your first time you sent on a podcast, so it's pretty exciting that we get to be your first. So welcome to our show.
Yeah,
And-
first podcast.
And by the way, guys, Scott is here. He's off camera because, as you see, we don't have room for everybody here. So say hi, Scott.
Just off camera, but I'm still here. I'll be asking questions to Jack and Eli as we go on.
All right, guys. So first question is an easy one. Are you guys your bros? Are you brothers? Or tell us a story. Not everyone seems to know that story.
You want it?
Yeah, we are brothers, and I was let's start from the beginning. So I was adopted by our parents in 2012, and I'm originally from Uganda, and we were living in Texas, and then we moved to California a few years later, and then we started riding. So.
How old were you guys when you started riding? Just kind of like your dad rides, right? Is that where it came from, or someone else in the family? Where'd you guys pick up riding from?
Our dad rode. I mean, we would always ride for fun, but our dad rode. And then just before COVID, I started going on his recovery rides. Mm-hmm. And then COVID hit. We were home all the time, and he started taking us on every ride. And he put a lot of time in going slow with us as we were getting started. But yeah, that's really how we got into it.
And how old were you guys when this started?
I was probably 13.
Yeah.
You were 11?
Yeah, I started
10?
a few years after, yeah.
And how old are you guys now?
I'm 17.
Now I'm 15.
And your racing ages are?
18.
16.
Okay, so this is your last year.
Last year as a junior. Yeah.
And you got 2 more big years to go.
Yeah, 2 more years of juniors.
That's pretty exciting.
He's about to head to junior nationals in Wisconsin too.
When is that?
The end of this month, so in 20 days.
How you feeling?
3 weeks. Good. I think you always want more training or whatever, but I think these next few weeks are going to be probably the best I could be for preparing just
got your first pro win, so
I
you're
was
not
going
in
to say
that out of a spot.
I wanted to say that, but that's a good way to get yourself ready. I saw you won your first pro win tell me about that race a little bit before we get into all the other stuff.
Yeah, it's at CBR, California Bicycle Racing, and the last race of this six race series. So yeah, it was made the breakaway, 7 guys, and then played my cards right at the finish and was able to sprint and win by half an inch and bike throw. So
I saw the photo finish. It was awesome. And were you in the race also?
Yeah, I was covering moves and got caught out of position when that one went. I was looking for the follows and nobody tried to bridge. So
Oh, that's good. You were there to make sure no one.
yeah,
Just in
they
case.
tried flicking me through a few times. And I just shook my head. I was like, Eli's up there, and all the sprinters were in the field. So
Tell me about your family. So you have mom, dad. Who else? Anyone else?
mom,
in the family?
dad, and we have an older sister who's at UCLA right now.
Does she ride?
She does not. We actually got her on the bike for one summer, and she was not loving it.
Not her favorite thing. She's
Yeah.
not. Just two out of 3.
She swam in high school, so
Oh, that's good. And
Yeah.
what is she going to school? What is she going to school for?
English.
Not the most interesting subject to me, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Probably my least favorite subject.
Mine too, actually. So I was going to go into that. But when did you start racing? So how old you are now. So how old were you guys? Or when did you start racing?
I was probably race age 14.
yeah, it was.
Was
it
I remember the date. It was
2021?
April 11th, 2021. Ontario crit.
Yeah.
And you
And
raced juniors, or did you race categories?
We raced juniors, and there were like 50 plus juniors at a
that's
local
that's
race.
a good race. You don't get
Yeah.
that much anymore.
We got dropped on lap 3 or 4 and lapped twice.
That's
So
a good story. Funny, my son got dropped and lapped his first race, so
Yeah.
I think that means you're got a good future ahead of you, I guess. So only a few years of racing then. You guys accomplished a lot in that time. What do you guys? Each one of you guys, what do you think are some of your biggest accomplishments you've had in your short but illustrious cycling career?
I think for me, winning junior nationals as a 13-14 crit, that was a big one.
The stars and
And-
stripes.
yeah.
They look good on you.
Yeah, and then also completing BWR when it was like really long and really hot. That course was really brutal.
what about Rogers Cup?
And Rogers Cup, that was big too.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a hard race too, and one of the bigger ones. So yeah,
Probably third at Crit Nats was pretty good.
Nice podium.
Yeah, as a 15, 16. What else? It's hard. It's hard to remember all of the races.
Yeah, if it comes to you, just
done
splurt it out. I mean, yeah, you guys had a lot of accomplishments over the year. So, what do you guys see yourself in the future? Are you cycling to get a scholarship? Cycling to and when you go to college, you want to go be a pro? Do you want? So, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, so I've actually committed to Colorado Mesa for collegiate cycling.
Awesome.
So I'll be out there for 4 years studying biology in hopes of going to med school. So I also want to go as far as I can in cycling. So that's the dream, to go pro. I feel like that's every junior's dream. Of
course.
yeah. For me, I think probably like Jack was saying, like every junior's dream, like to try and see how far we can go, and that really starts like at like now and these next few years for me in juniors. And I'd also like to definitely go to college and get a degree, maybe in like marketing or business or something. We'll have to see, Now,
are you scholarshiped with your cycling?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because I know there's some scholarships out there. My son got one, and I know there's a bunch of schools that have them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So, and I think national champions get a free ride at certain colleges, because I know.
Do they?
Yeah, they did. I know Brevard gave them, and so there's certain of them that do give national champions a free ride. Well, free-ish ride, but
Yeah.
So you have to look into that in a couple more years, see what schools. You got it. You got the stars and stripes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So along the way, you had to get a lot of help. I mean, so it's not easy. People don't realize cycling is expensive. It takes a lot of time. It's something that's not easy. And now you guys are teenagers, and at the time, young teenagers, and your dad, what does your dad do so they know?
Our dad's a worship pastor.
Yeah, so he's busy. His Sundays are pretty full.
Yeah.
So he does what he can do, and you've had people to ride with you, but like along the way, who's been there to kind of mentor you and help you guys out and kind of give you the push to get you to the next level, or some of the guys have helped you along the way?
Yeah, I mean, we've had so much help. Our parents are obviously the biggest help. They've always been there for us and got us started. Honestly, what first comes to mind is the Williams brothers. They helped us a ton. They gave us the specialized allays when we were young, and so that was a huge help getting us new bikes. Bahati actually gave Eli his
he
first,
gave me my first road
real
bike.
Eli was on
Really?
like
Yeah.
a 56 when he was like super short. Like it was way too big. And Bahati got him like this Trek with SRAM force, zip wheels. So
Oh, that's a pretty nice upgrade
Yeah.
there for you. That's really nice.
Yeah, for sure. Like Jack was saying, our parents, the Williams brothers, Bahati.
Williams are for not everyone knows, they're Legion.
Yeah.
They're the owners of the Legion team, which is one of the best for sure crit pro teams in the U.S. So
Yeah, and Bahati was a big one for me. Like Jack was saying, gave me my first real road bike. And yeah, there's been a lot of other people too, just like people like from our sponsors and stuff, and all the sponsors that do believe and sponsor us. Everybody there, those people are really big too.
well, on that, let's talk about your new sponsors you got this year. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this year new sponsor. Big one was Canyon Bicycles. So yeah, that was the big one for this year. And we also stayed with like Hunt Wheels and new one, Cav helmets, 3D printed helmets. So yeah, there's been a few more, but yeah, those are some of the main ones.
Yeah, Canyon was when we found out and they came back to us and they were like, we want to sponsor you guys. It was so sick. I could not believe it. It was actually like Eli's dream bike growing up. I would always ask him, like, if you were to pick any super bike, which one would you get? And he would always be like the Canyon Air Road.
That's you got the Air Road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Pretty sick bike.
How'd you end up getting in contact with them? Did you send resumes out? Did they contact you? I mean, for guys that are coming up, they'd like to hear that story, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, at BWR, when we were first starting, we like went around to all the tents and like met people, but we were like 10 and 12 at the time, so they're like, we can't sponsor you. But then at Steamboat this year, we went around to different tents with one pages, and we're like handing them out and just like showing people what we've done, what we've accomplished, where we're going. And we got in contact through Big Tall Wayne. He gave us a contact at Canyon, and so we sent an email, had a Zoom meeting, and then went up from there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great story, and this is going to sound. It's good to see good kids get good things. I mean, you guys have worked hard. You're good kids. No one ever says anything that you guys are like out of line, crazy, or anything like that. So for you guys that don't know, locally they're very well thought of also. So thank you guys for representing yourselves and the sport really, really well.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys, I got a couple of questions here for you. What's a typical training week look like? Now, I'm not asking you guys to give away the special sauce, but a typical training week, like what are we doing? How many hours? How many miles?
Ooh, in the off season, Coach Brian wanted us to shoot for 18 to 20 hours. That was honestly kind of hard to hit.
You too?
Yeah.
Ooh.
During season, it's been a little lower, just because like racing and stuff, it's a lot more intensity. So it's probably around like 12 to 16-ish.
Yeah. With sometimes racing on Sundays. So the riding days get swapped a little bit.
Is it pretty structured, or is it this day this, or is it kind of like here's what I want you to do?
We do some group rides. We've been doing intervals like before the group ride and then going out and just having some fun. So like we would go do like 3 by 5 minutes and then go to buds.
Buds is hard enough. Then you're gonna do intervals first.
Yeah.
Scott, never will ever happen to you. By the way,
You'll never see that out of me. If you guys were to run in clones of yourself, but the younger you, knowing what you guys know now, what would you suggest, or as far as trying to steer them away from the pitfalls that maybe you guys kind of fell into, and try to get them through some of the gray area that wasn't so clear, to try to get them through the rough patches of getting into the sport that maybe you guys experience? What would you have them avoid?
Oh, that one's tough.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would honestly, when we first started out, every ride we did, we basically went as hard as we could for like an hour and a half. And so then we got a coach, and Brian was like, guys, you don't need to go as hard as you can. You're not going to get stronger that way. So I would probably just say like more structured training and like look into that a bit more, and like zone 2 and how effective it is. We do a lot of zone 2 in the off season.
Right on. Good one. Next question. Which one of you guys is better?
Depends on the day.
Definitely stronger in different areas. Yeah. Eli can out sprint me any day of the week. Up a climb in the heat, though, I feel like I've got Eli.
Yeah, it really just depends on, mainly
motivation levels.
Yeah.
Eli does a lot better in front of a crowd. That's what we've learned.
Yeah.
You like the show?
Kind of, but I just don't like to embarrass myself,
Okay. And you guys have a friendly competition, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely love sprinting against Eli for city signs on the way home from Montrose.
So would you guys say you guys are your biggest rivals?
Probably.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Last night we did a crit practice. Buds was like canceled, and I like attacked with 2 laps to go, and I was totally expecting Eli to try and chase me back, but he didn't. I was shocked.
Oh, you
I was
chased
like,
him
I'm
back?
just gonna. No.
Usually he chases me back.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, oh,
On the group rides, not in real races.
Okay, well, it's good. It's good practice, right?
Yeah,
You can't win if your brother's up the road.
yeah.
true.
So what's junior light racing like nowadays? So do you junior race local? Do you just big races? Are you going to Europe? What's your junior racing schedule like for you guys?
Junior racing's crazy. It's pretty dead locally. Yeah, the only big junior races are the national selection events. So this year it was Voss, Lago Vista in Texas, Nationals, and Toad. So Toad's the last one on our calendar this year. And those are really the main ones that people show up for. There have been new like USA Juniors Cups that have tried to like incorporate some new races. But yeah, we haven't been able to go out to any of those. Our budget is pretty limited, so we just got to the selection events. And yeah, the bigger teams that have the bigger budgets go over to Europe. I mean, one of my goals this year was to try to get on the national team. So we got to see if I can do good at Toad.
And what about you? You're a national champion. You're not getting looked at for the 16. There's the 16 to 18 national team.
Yeah.
The 15 16 national team. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, so they do a few trips over the year. One was like right after Valley of the Sun. I raced up then with Jack. And then the next one is after Nationals. So I think they do it like right after Nationals. So they take a little crew to like Belgium and
Hermes trip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's really just, mainly just those two. And obviously, Lago Vista is a big one, but do well at Nationals. That's what I'm really looking towards.
Nice.
I got one more question for you guys. Tour de France. Vingegaard, Pogačar.
Oh, I got to go Poggy all day. In the World Champs kit, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, Pogačar. Yeah, it's gonna be different this year. I feel like there's a lot more players. So
Yeah, Visma's got a strong team with Simon winning the Giro. It's gonna be interesting.
Only one leader though.
Yeah.
Only one leader. So what about you're a sprinter. Who's the green jersey going to be then?
I think it's either gonna be probably like Olaf Koy or
Philipsen.
yeah, him too. Who won last year? I forgot.
Binyam.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. He won. Grimet. Grimet.
yeah, either of those
I
three.
haven't heard anything from him this year either. He got a contract, got the money. Have you guys heard anything
No.
this season? Have you?
Haven't seen him. Early spring races, he was in and there, round and about.
I
But
see him. He's easy to spot, as you know. There's not a lot of black dudes running in
Yeah.
the pro peloton, so you could spot him. But I have not seen him do any place in the front of the field for much of it.
He's saving it for the tour.
Hopefully, that'd be awesome. He had an amazing tour last year. So
Yeah.
all right, so for guys, for anybody that's not familiar with you, and they're watching our podcast, where can they find your stuff? Where can they find your content?
Yeah, Instagram and YouTube at Bros Ride Bikes.
Nailed it.
I think that's it, guys.
Cool.
Well, thank you guys, man. It
Perfect.
was awesome having you.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank you.
Just wanted
inviting
to
us and
say
having us.
thank you to Dom for all the support, especially last year hooking us up with those bikes. That was like a huge help. And yeah, you've always been there, and just thank you.
It was a pleasure. You guys are what the sport's all about, and it's what we want the sport to be in the future. So thank you guys very much also.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll see you guys all again. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff. You guys know. Come on. And tell your friends to watch it. Thank you.
Peace.
Hey, this is like a PS at the end of when you forget to add something. The bros want to talk about their coaching for 1 second. Give a shout out to their coach. Who's your coach?
Coach Brian McCullough, Big Wheel Coaching.
Yep, big wheel coaching.
We've been coached by him for a little over a year now.
And how's it working with that guy?
Dude, I love Brian so much. We go out there like in the off season, we were going out there weekly, riding with him, hanging out.
Where is there?
Ukaipa. So that's like an hour drive for
That's
us.
far.
Yeah.
No, you drive now, so you don't need to. You don't need to get chauffeured around anymore.
Exactly.
So.
But yeah, I love Brian so much. He's been awesome. And yeah, we've definitely seen a big improvement since starting with him.
Yeah, it's been, for me personally, awesome because he races And yeah, just like he likes to teach racecraft too, as well as like training and making training plans and schedules and whatnot. He teaches us how to like race our bikes, like playing chess and stuff, you know?
Yeah, he
So
was
that's really
yelling at
awesome.
us like the whole race at CBR.
So he teaches it not just the physical, he teaches the mental and most importantly, the strategy.
Yeah. We also did a 20-minute interval with him one time, and he sat in my wheel and literally yelled at me for 20 minutes straight.
Telling you to go harder?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that sounds just horrible.
No, yeah, but we love Brian.
No, that's what it takes. So again, I think this is the actual time we're done. Anything else you guys want to add?
I don't think so. I think
sure?
we got it all.
Yeah.
You all right? Nothing for you either?
No,
You
I
ready?
think it was perfect.
All right, guys, thanks again. See you in the next one.